What if a report states that PDA profile of autism diagnoses are not PDA? A thought experiment by Richard Woods at London Southbank University, PhD student, and I'm currently on a gap year. So, yeah, this should be one of my shorter videos and a bit more informal. It's just a quick thought experiment reflecting upon the large amount of variation in clinical practice in how autism is assessed and diagnosed. So, yeah, I'm mainly drawing on a recent report by Autistica in the UK on that, and it's mainly talking about autism assessments in England, but it points more broadly applicable to the rest of the kind of like Western world. So yeah, we generally accept within like autism research and practice that autism identifications from other clinics from clinics with different with divergent assessment practices are basically the same, which should basically be respected and accepted. Um, and this kind of matters when you consider that PDA Profile of Autism advocates have produced a report on assessment identification, um, which tries to be quite tries to homogenise how PDA is identified. I mean, as this is a more informal video than I normally do, so I'm going to be putting links to anything that's referenced in the video's description for people to access. I'm also going to be putting in a link to my critique to the research report I'm referring to by PDA Profile of Autism advocates. So yeah, these are a couple of quotes from the report which basically point out that PDA Profile of Autism advocates are saying that PDA has been overdiagnosed and that basically they are excluding non-PDA profile of PDA identifications from PDA. So I'm just going to read out the two quotes out. So there are some services and professionals who do not recognise PDA as a diagnostic term. Equally, contributors have noted that with increased awareness, there has been some over-identification by other practitioners. And the second quote is talking about the extreme demand-avoidance questionnaire, which is an observer-rated screening tool for PDA in children with limited to mild intellectual disabilities as well, off the top of my head. But basically, the quote says that clinical practice has shown that in some cases with high NDAQ scores, the marked demand avoidance can be better explained by other underlying reasons and not a PDA profile. So the basis saying NDAQ gives false positives, which I think some people could potentially question um, that interpretation by that report. So yeah, moving on. So the quick thought experiment is what if the PDA clinics who are claimed to be doing the over-identification of PDA collaborated to produce a report on assessment identifying PDA, which states that PDA profile autism identifications are not PDA? So the entire premise of this is inverting what PDA profile autism advocates have done in their report to non-PDA profile of autism PDA identifications. Um, so yeah, such a scenario should highlight how problematic the report by PDA profile autism advocates is in prematurely dismissing other PDA identifications. Um, so yeah, I doubt that PDA profile autism advocates would appreciate if some clinicians produce reports stating their PDA profile autism identifications are not PDA. I think some of them would be quite agitated and loud in their opposition to such a report. But if one's engaging with such a hypothetical report in a rational, logical way, I think the response would be from some PDA profiles advocates would be to highlight the report's biases, point out that PDA profiles identifications the same rights and Equality Act as the report's PDA identifications, notice the report's author's conflict of interests, and note that the report lacks supporting evidence. I'm going to be continue this topic onto the next slide. So continuing it, I think that PDA Profiles advocates' like response to this hypothetical report would be saying that science is not about proving what you believe. The point of that is that the report's authors should be embracing and respecting other divergent PDA diagnoses until scientific-based research shows that they're not PDA or that they're different. So yeah, um, And basically, the report, people should be respecting PDA Profile of Autism identifications in addition to the report's PDA diagnoses, and likewise, literature will be used to challenge the exclusion of PDA Profile of Autism from PDA in this hypothetical report. So, yeah, I think such a report is likely to have a variety of consequences for research and practice. And I'm going to ask you, what do you think such consequences would be if clinics who are claimed are doing over-identification of PDA collaborate to produce a report on assessment and identifying PDA, which states PDA Profile of ASD identifications are not PDA? So, yeah, I'd also point out this question as well. If it would not be acceptable to prematurely exclude PDA Profile of Autism identification from PDA, then why would it be acceptable to prematurely exclude non-PDA Profile of ASD identifications from PDA? Yeah, so this is getting towards the end. So yeah, may your STEMI activities be many and your flow states long, which is equivalent to live long and prosper for neurodivergent people. So yeah, I think that's. Oh, yeah, the final slide is basically how you can contact me if you want to get hold of stuff. So my email, Twitter or X handle, link to my research slides, and a YouTube channel which you should be watching this on. So I'm going to be leaving comments open for this video. So yeah, that should be everything. Thank you, and I hope you have a good time.